homosexuality is an essential quality of humanness, and that its expression is the right of every human being. The question is, do we really want our youngsters subjected to that? Wouldn't it be better to let them decide that at some point later in life? We want to educate them to it just to make sure that they have a good shot at becoming lesbian or homosexual. I suppose that's the rationale.
Well, I think the people who want to stop gay doesn't know what gay's all about and why people are gay.
As a 6 or a 12-year-old, if I brought home something like that, I'd be punished for it, and I can assure you I didn't get it from my teacher or from my curriculum.
I don't think that it's bad. I mean, the prejudice or people who are against gay people or lesbian people, that they're not terrible, horrible people. That's just their opinion.
We can and we must protect the taxpayers by keeping this kind of trash out of our schools. And that's exactly what it is. It's trash.
This is the first time I've ever talked about gay and lesbians in a group. I went to the Maynard School for 3 years, and nobody ever really talked about it, but a lot of people would call each other names and call each other gay, and everybody was really mean about it.
But let this filth come into our classrooms, that's fine. And you wonder what's wrong with America? You wonder what's wrong with America?
Who really cares if you're gay? It's like barely nobody knows in the world. It's like, what's the big whoop?
Most adults probably don't see why schools should teach young children about gay people, and they can't imagine how teachers could possibly present this subject matter in an age-appropriate way. We made this film to explore what does happen when experienced teachers talk about lesbians and gay men with their students. In 6 elementary and middle schools, we found a cross-section of educators who, despite today's political climate, have come to believe that in fact there are lots of reasons why schools should find ways to address gay issues. They agreed to let our cameras into their classrooms in the hope of inspiring other educators and parents to take the next step in their own school communities to teach children respect for all.
Do you remember way at the beginning of the year we talked about, I told you the word Indian, and I asked you to paint whatever came to mind when you heard that word. Do you remember that? Yeah. It's the same thing. What I want you to do when you go in just a minute and work in small groups, you're not going to be painting, okay? You're going to be writing down whatever comes to your mind when you hear the word gay or when you hear the word lesbian.
So nothing's right or wrong
There's
in
no
this
right
either?
That's right. There's no right or wrong answer. Yeah.
So the activity's about gay people?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I didn't know.
Okay?
About how many ideas should we come up with?
That's a good question. Try and come up with about 20 if you can. If you can't, you can't, but try. Yeah.
Do we put it on a plain piece of paper or when?
Don't care. You can put it on whatever kind of piece of paper you want because you're giving the pieces of paper to me. Yes.
When I think of gay, I think of someone like a boy working funny, like a girl.
When I think of gay, I think of cross-dressing, like a boy dressed up like a girl and a girl dressed up like a boy, but they both love each other.
What? Sick. Yeah. It's so sick that.
Okay, write that down. He's thinking.
Oh, I got one. Fancy. Getting married. What? Married. They like each other. Well.
When I think of gay, I think of Gay Pride Day.
When I think of gay, I think of a movie.
Why? Just write it.
Movie.
Put the pencils away. You came up with a huge number of very different, very diverse words. But I'm curious about where you get your ideas from. Where do you get your information? Where do you get your thoughts? Where do you get your images from? Samira?
I get them mostly from TV and the news.
Like, when you say TV, what do you mean?
Well, mostly the news, really, because my parents watch it a lot.
Okay. Robbie?
I saw this movie called Jungle Fever, and I don't know if this is gay. I think it's another. I'm not sure. It's when it can be a black girl, a black boy, have a baby or girlfriend, boyfriend with a white boy or white girl.
So when people of two different races get involved?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing as being gay?
No, I don't think so.
No.
What does it mean? Maybe we should have started with this. What does it mean?
Gay?
If someone says that they're gay, or they say, someone else is gay, or someone is homosexual, what does that mean? Nikki, what does that mean?
It's like that they're in love with a boy, that a boy is in love with a boy or a girl's in love with a girl, or else they could be just teasing or something.
Okay. Robbie?
Because some babies, when they get 1 to 2 years old, they start taking a shower with their mom or dad. That doesn't mean they're gay. It's this that they don't know how to, take the shower yet. Because they might drown. Because when I was a baby, I almost drowned in 1 feet.
Okay. Ooh, it's scary.
I see people laugh when they think of people being gay.
You see people laughing where?
Like in I don't know, maybe in anywhere. Like when they hear something someone's when they hear about gay.
I mostly get it from my parents and my aunts and uncles because they're always talking about it, saying it's wrong and you shouldn't do it. But I think it's just the way a person is. You can't really change it.
Okay. Victoria?
Well, I got them from talk shows.
Today on Ricky Lake, should parents ban gays?
Can you be gay one day, straight the next day?
It is a shock when your child says to you, I'm gay.
God hates fags.
God hates who?
Fags.
Kevin, you would actually disown your child if they were gay?
The Bible that I read, the Bible says homosexuals should be put to death.
I just flip through the channel and I hear them talking about it, and that's how I.
Okay.
I got most of it from Eddie Murphy movies, how he acts and stuff. That's why I said movie.
Yes. I'm looking for Victor Maitland. Tell him that Ramon went to the clinic today, and I found out that I have herpes simplex 10.
Ted, you're alive! Yeah! I fell out of my shoe when I hit the floor. Bag. 3 men living together in a house is a mess. It's unnatural.
He's gay. What kind of a man teaches kindergarten? He's obviously gay.
Yeah, well, a male kindergarten teacher is just not what I'm used to.
Get out of here, you notion little pervert, or I'm gonna slap you silly!
Yeah, he was afraid you might be a homo. But we already know you are.
I think your real daddy's probably some homo in California.
I bet your mom did it with a fag. And then you were born.
That's it. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is a man. Oh my God! Einhorn is a man.
In this movie called Vince Ventura, I'm not sure what it's called, but I know
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, Ace Ventura. This guy, he kissed the football player. He didn't know that he was a man, so
Yeah, until he saw the man.
So it's not considered. Why do they consider people that do that gay?
Why is that word used, or why is the word gay used to mean homosexuals?
I think because gay, one word meaning for gay is happy, and you know how if you have someone you like and they like you, you're usually happy.
something that might be the reason. So I heard this on the news once because I think a gay person, it was a boy, man walked into a bar and there was really strict people that really strict on gay people and he got beat up.
And do you think that was an okay thing to do or not?
No. How did they find out? Because that's how their life is. They're gay, so what? That's how the life is. I don't think people should be strict about them because if they were gay, they wouldn't want to be getting beat up or stuff.
Okay.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Yes, go. It became even clearer to me from the whole sort of thing that was going on with the discussion today that kids hear this information all the time, and what they're getting mostly is a lot of misinformation and a lot of stereotypes that are just being reinforced over and over and over again. And I think there's this sort of fear that when you're talking about gays and lesbians, you're talking about sex, and I don't think that's true. I mean, I think you're talking about a community, and you're talking about people relating to each other, and not specifically about sex. I don't think talking about gay and lesbian sex is appropriate with elementary school kids, and I don't think they'd really have any interest in hearing about it from their teacher. I think it would make them uncomfortable. But talking about people in different communities and biases and discrimination and how that affects people's lives, I think is appropriate.
A sailor went to see what he could see, but all that he could see was the bottom of the deep blue sea. A sailor went to sea.
Okay, we're going to do a web today, so I'm going to put the word gay on the board in the middle, and we're going to make the web coming out in all directions. You think I should add lesbian too?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put gay or lesbian.
What about and? Gay and lesbians.
And or?
Yeah.
Alright. There we go. Okay, we ready? Louis.
Homophobia?
Homophobia. Let's put that over here.
Calling names.
Alright. Well, let's put that kind of on the same side since probably calling names is connected to being scared of somebody because you call somebody names.
Discrimination.
The web gives you a basic place to start with. It builds on the common knowledge of the students and gives you kind of a focus to your next step of your curriculum.
Gay and lesbians are the same as real people.
Yes?
For name calling, weird.
You mean you're calling somebody you're weird, or do you think it's weird to be gay or lesbian?
Yes, to be gay or lesbian.
Okay.
Hitler and Nazis.
Nazis.
Nazis, whatever.
I think the neat thing about this issue is that it's already there. It's already in the classroom. The kids are already thinking about it. There's ways to, just start it off with name calling, with a book, with just a talking about famous gay and lesbian people. There's ways that are pretty standard elementary curriculum across this country, which, with a little inventiveness and a little risk, you can start going on.
In my classroom, first and second grade, we do a lot of class books. I have some here. Here's a rule book and endangered animals book. Here's a book about children's rights that they put together, and each child contributes a page. With some of these projects, they've shared their books with other classrooms. They're just first and second graders, but they put themselves in the role as teacher of the classroom. This is the book that we're going to share today. Everybody is Equal. It's called A Book About Gay and Lesbian People by Room 27. Galen did the cover for this. Did a really nice job, Galen. Read your page, then turn the picture around, and remember to pause for questions or comments, because the kids in the other classes haven't heard your stories at all, and they might be asking you questions. Or Sean, would you like to read the introduction?
We made this book to tell people to respect gay and lesbian people and to try to stop kids who are making fun of people who are gay and lesbian. I drew a picture of Jessica and me, and this really happened to us. We had just gotten a drink, and some kid came up and said we were gay. Jessica, I liked your picture because you drew me in it, and I think that what you wrote was really true.
Let's say that you don't believe in a gay lifestyle and you feel that this is against your religion and not a good thing and it's against God. At least this way it opens the topic so that you then can teach what you believe to your child. You live a day-to-day life with your child and it's get the room clean and get the dinner on the table and you forget to talk. And so when they do come home with questions, oh yeah, I did want to speak to you about that. It opens the dialogue. So even if you are against the lifestyle, it still needs to be there. It still needs to be addressed.
Kaylin was in a march saying, hey, hey, ho, ho, homophobia has got to go. Homophobia means being scared of gay or lesbian people, by Kaylin. And this is the whole crowd saying, hey, hey, ho, ho, homophobia has got to go. And this is a sign that says, we want rights too. And this is a banner that says, we want rights too.
Is this a march you went to in Madison, Kaylin? Or?
I was marching around the Capitol. Zach.
Can only gay people go to the march?
No, even people that like gay people.
I was talking with one lesbian staff member who said that she just felt extremely uncomfortable every time the issue of homosexuality would come up because she's not out with her students, and I understand why she's very wary of the parental reaction even more than the student reaction. And she said it's so good that you are teaching about it, and I feel really safe about doing it, particularly since I recently got remarried, so I've got a husband. And people aren't going to say, oh, maybe she's a lesbian, maybe she's trying to promote her cause. So it's very important that I speak about it because I know that the gay and lesbian staff members have a very, very difficult time dealing with the issue.
That was so interesting. Why do they wear pink triangles? Where does that come from? Do you remember talking about it in your class?
Yes.
That fits right in with our history stuff.
I was hoping someone asked that question. There's pink triangles all over this book because that's what some people wear to represent that they're gay. It came from the Nazis. They put the pink triangles on gay people to tell that they were gay and they were going to kill them. It was a bad sign, but then the gay people made it up and turned it into a good sign.
Not only gay people had to wear them, but we were talking about this the other day. What were some other people who had to wear the signs during World War II?
They put white stars on your arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever made fun of any of you for any reason whatsoever?
Somebody made fun of us.
Yeah, for any reason.
People say that I act like a girl, and sometimes I do for some reason.
Because you're kind of artistic and dance a lot and do stuff?
Yeah,
so
like
then they
that.
called you act like a girl.
Because I'm a little chubby, people call me Doughboy. Some people change it to Dough Girl and stuff to make fun of me, but I don't really mind Doughboy.
People made fun of me because I'm Jewish and stuff, me and my friend.
What happens when people make fun of you? What do you do? How do you feel?
Bad.
Yeah.
I got something to say. When you said that people believe stuff, some Christians believe that if you're gay or lesbian, that you go to hell. So they want to torture them, stuff like that. So.
Are any of you scared of gay or lesbians?
No. Nope.
What about your class?
Nope.
Do you think it's catching? If your friend is gay and he comes and plays with you, do you think you're going to catch it?
Most people, yeah, if they have homophobia.
Oh, if they're homophobic, they think they'll catch it. But if you're not, do you think it's catching?
No,
you can't catch
it's impossible.
It's in your genes.
What you are.
I just got into a fight with the PTA president over the phone about this whole thing. He was talking to my husband and I was shouting in the background, but how can you say that? How can you say that? I think he kept his daughter at home on Friday and I still have problems with that. He really thinks that his daughter is too young. And what I'm angry about is if they are going to be sending permission slips to do this, that, and the other surrounding, this topic, what are they going to do when they start talking about Mexican history or the Dutch or African Americans? Are you going to send stuff on? Well, we're going to be talking about this. Is it okay? I just really have a problem with it. I mean, I really, really do.
Okay, Amanda, let's find a spot for you. No, not like that. All right, I have everyone at this point. First of all, I think we should start talking about our story and share some of your curricular pieces. You were to write a 1 to 2 page response to the question of gay, lesbian inclusion in curriculum. How should we do it? At what ages? Do we not have things for young children? And I would like to get maybe 5 or 6 people to share these. You can read them, you can talk them, and then let's start to respond and ask each other questions. Okay, go ahead.
Everyone basically just assumes that everyone else is heterosexual and that it's already understood, because I know when I was 4 years old, I thought to myself, okay, it's a boy, there's a girl, and look at those people on TV, and they're doing what they do. But I knew if I saw 2 men on TV, I'd probably freak out or something. So I think it does need to be taught, because what?
No, go Marcus, go. So how should it be taught? I mean, are you too young? Should you not be reading Jack? And maybe somebody could talk about Jack from last year.
My parents, especially my father, he was not too happy at all. He said that and my brother, and then it became this big family issue that was being talked about over the dinner table, and they were oh, your school is too liberal, they shouldn't be teaching that in school, they're sending the wrong message, and this and that. And this is it's really hard for me sometimes to figure out where I stand on an issue when you have all these people who, your family members. My brother thinks it's disgusting. He outwardly says it's disgusting. It's a sin. It's nasty. He told me one time, I don't remember what happened. I was with Juliana, and we were laughing, and we were just laughing together, and we were sitting next to each other. He was ew, stop acting like a bunch of this and that. He's that's disgusting, that's nasty, what's wrong with you? And he scared the both of us.
I don't know, it's just that kids we hear all these different things from different places, people telling us different things, and school needs to give us all the facts so we can decide on our own what to think and, what to do.
I just want to say that if kids are too young to be taught about homosexuality, then they're too young to be taught about heterosexuality. And you've got to teach the equality and instill the equality from the very, very beginning. And if you're going to read, say you're going to read Cinderella, you should read, the one about when the 2 princesses go to the ball and they fall in love and live happily ever after. What? Well, there should be. Of course.
I hear some people advocating that we give facts and let people form their own opinions and ideas. And I hear other people saying that you actually have to combat homophobia and almost deal with that conflict of values that Elvira's bringing up. That is very important, and it's very true in families. And, there's 2 different things going on, and I'd like some of the other people who are going to speak to maybe address that.
I don't think, when we were reading last year, in an R&R project, they gave us all these books Mikey and His 2 Mommies and stuff like that. I don't think those, my own personal opinion, I don't think those are really appropriate for little kids to read, because I know I have lots of little cousins who are it totally freaks them out. It's so weird to them. They're ew, ew, and it's kind of a little too harsh for them, because it's kind of throwing it in their faces. And this is a 5-year-old, and a 5-year-old doesn't really understand. They only know what they see on TV and what they hear from their parents.
Kim, you're next.
I don't agree with Elvira when she says that the book should not be thrown to young kids, because the reason they freak out is because they have not seen those books, because they have not seen homosexual relationships on TV and walking around because maybe their parents or something are biasing us. That's the reason they freak out. You can't say, oh, but they're going to get freaked out because, you can't just throw it at them. The reason that they're going to get freaked out is because it hasn't been thrown at them.
We are at
Peabody School hosting a photo text exhibit entitled Love Makes a Family, Living in Lesbian and Gay Families. Lovely, lovely photos. And I believe that the Peabody School community is a very open and embracing and nurturing community. So I said, sure, we will have the exhibit. And it was an eye-opening experience for me.
That a lot of those people aren't here, like that they were very upset that the exhibit was coming, but they didn't really come tonight to see it and to hear about it.
And one particular parent was particularly disturbed about the process. And then there were several parents who were disturbed about the topic. At one of the preliminary meetings that I had, a lesbian mom said, "You may lose your job over this. Do you want to go forward?" And I guess it's something I felt strongly about. And I'm not a flag bearer, but I felt strongly that the children in this community needed to be educated around this topic. Well, my 5th grade today came down to view the exhibit, and I think it really was really an eye-opening experience for my 5th grade teacher that so many of the children have never discussed this at all. Those parents that were really in opposition, I have invited them to come during the day to spend any portion of the day to see what happens.
Rob and I have been together for 14 years. We really wanted kids, so we adopted Daniel, then Jessica, and finally Christopher. We would like to adopt at least one more girl so Jessie can have a sister. We've already picked out the name Jennifer. That's Daniel, that's Jessica, that's Christopher, that's
Rob.
And
How do you know that's Rob?
I don't know.
That's a guess.
So all in all, of our first day after the grand opening, it has really been a very positive experience for my children and my families, which is our goal.
I think that the exhibit that we saw should be shown to younger kids too, so they grow up knowing that lesbians and gays aren't bad.
I was curious as to why the exhibit was going to be here at our school. I thought maybe City Hall was a better place to have it. I mean, it seemed to be quite a tempest that was brewing, one more thing that we didn't need. Just the way that it worked out, the way the kids responded here today, I think they responded very well to it. Jake?
Can a woman's sperm fertilize her own egg?
No, a woman doesn't make sperm. So you can only have a baby if a sperm fertilizes an egg. And only men make sperm. I heard in the news yesterday that only 1 out of 3 children today is born to a family, to a man and a woman who are married. So America is changing. I've taught here for 22 years, and I haven't really specifically done a lesson around gay and lesbians before. It did make me feel that they are ready for a lot more than I had given them credit for.
Stereotypes up here on the board, and what I'd like to do is try to develop some kind of a cluster around it of various stereotypes that you've either heard or experienced yourself about either your own group or about different people. Raimel.
Some people think that all teenagers are drug dealers.
Okay, teenagers as drug dealers. Now, Raimel, let me ask you a question. Okay. Are some teenagers drug dealers?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's often the way a stereotype develops. Right there, it's like this little. Yeah, some teenagers are drug dealers, right? Or some people with baggy clothes stuff their pockets full of candy in the store, but then it's applied to the whole group, right? And that's what a stereotype does. Okay. Other stereotypes.
Like Williams, everybody thinks all of them eat beans and rice. That's not true. I mean, some of them do, right? But I mean, that's not all we eat.
Okay, Latinos eat beans and rice. Like, Crystal, what'd you have for dinner last night?
Last night, I had Filipino food.
Right, so you didn't have beans and rice. Okay. No. Keep in your mind this issue of stereotypes, and then try to think about it as you're thinking about lesbians and gay men. What I'd like you to do right now is take about 10 minutes, and I want you to write first what your attitude is, what you think your attitude right at this moment is about the whole issue of homosexuality. And the second thing is what you would most like to learn. And I want you to write at least, I don't want like 2 sentences. I don't think anything. I don't want to learn nothing. Right? I don't want that. I want you to really try and write something, at least 1 paragraph, and hopefully 2. When I first started raising the issues in class, when I first started teaching, students would say, well, why are you so interested in this? You know? Are you gay? And the implication was that that really the only people that could possibly be interested in this issue would be gay people. Why else would somebody even bother? I explained to them why, as a straight man, I would be interested in this issue. And I like to answer the question because I think that it pushes them to think about this as more than just a lesbian and gay matter. Okay, who's going to start?
Kelly's first.
All right, Kelly, you want to start?
If they want to be gay, that's all right, because I just might try to talk them out of it. But if it doesn't work, that's their problem. There's nothing that I can much do.
Who's next? Jennifer.
Well, not sure. It's because I just found out about my aunt. I never knew until about a year ago. I thought she was a regular person. But when they told me, I didn't want to get next to her. I thought she was the most nastiest person. Now I'm okay with seeing her, but I still have a problem spending a night over her house.
Raimo.
Most of the time I put gays and lesbians down. I know it's not right, but I do it anyway. I say things like, gay men molest children. But that's not true. Most of the time, I don't even know what I'm saying. I say it all out of ignorance. I should find out what's true first before even saying anything about gays and lesbians.
Okay, so this is a chance to educate yourselves in the sense of really getting an opportunity to engage on this issue. And you're going to have speakers tomorrow who are gay and who are willing to come and talk about their lives. And that's an opportunity, again, for you to ask questions that you really have about this.